guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jarisa if you're new, and welcome back if you're one of my subscribers. Today I'm gonna be making one of those videos that you guys all love, DIYs. As you can see from the title, this video is gonna be based about trends that I have been seeing around Instagram, which is basically embellished dresses, embellished stuffs, and also embellished accessories. I know that they can get a little bit expensive, so this is why I'm gonna be showing you today how you can do this to clothes that you already own. I'm gonna list all the materials that I use in the description box, and if there's anything that I can't find the exact thing, then I'm gonna put something similar. I also wanted to give a shout out to this beautiful girl that sent me a picture of something that she recreated from one of my DIYs. It's that bag that everybody has seen in this channel. If you have any ideas of any trends or other DIYs that you want me to make, or maybe something that you have been thinking about creating but you don't know how, you can put them in the comment section, or you can also send them to my Instagram, JARISA DIY. I love looking at that stuff, and it really inspires me to create more things like this. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. For this first DIY, I'm gonna be using this bag that I found at Ross, and I think that this one is perfect because it fits my phone in there and it doesn't take much space. Then I'm gonna start to prepare the bag for the lace, and basically I just want to make sure that everything is very straight, because in this way it's gonna be easier to apply. Then I'm gonna start adding the glue in little parts, and this is because you don't want to add a lot of glue because then it can get very messy. So I just put a little bit of glue and then apply the lace on top and keep on repeating the same process until the whole bag is covered. After I put the lace on top of the glue, I like to make sure that it is well attached. So what I do is that I softly tap on top of it so everything is well glued together. Just make sure that everything is in place and tap a little bit on top of it so you know that nothing is gonna move around and you're not gonna have any kind of bubbles or anything like that. Now, as you can see in this area, I'm using this really small pair of scissors, and the reason why I'm using this is because these ones allow you to get as close to the bag as possible to make sure that everything looks perfect, like if you bought it at the store. I'm showing you a lot of the details on how I make this because I want you to have a final result that you're going to love. At this point, I started to add all the decorations to the bag, and basically these trims I found at Michael's, but I'm gonna try to find something similar for you. At this point, you just have to add whatever it is that you want. I really like that aesthetic that has a lot of neutral colors but also a pop of color in the center. Just want to make sure that you add the glue in a very clean way so it doesn't get messy, and then trim the decorations that you want to add and make sure that it looks clean. I decided to add a little bit of this material on the top because I feel like it makes it look a little bit fluffy, and I really like how it looks. It just gives it a little bit more detail. Even though it's black, it looks different like this. So I repeated the same process on both of the sides, and then I finished it off with a little bit of glue, making sure that I could open it and close it correctly. After I was done cutting and gluing the trim, then what I did is that I put a little bit of pressure on it to make sure that it was well attached to the bag. After I was done with that, then it was time to start adding a little bit more color, and I decided to go for butterflies because I have seen that butterflies are very trendy and they are also one of my favorite creations of nature. I found these ones at the dollar store. It was only like $1 for the package, and they are pretty cool because they have a holographic design that is really shiny, which I love. I just went ahead and started to glue them on randomly. I like that these ones are 3D, so they have a design that pops out, and yellow is a color that I really wear a lot, so that's why I like these ones. I was trying to add items that would bring a little bit of color. I also added a couple of these flowers that I found at Michael's. I felt like these flowers also added a lot of detail into what I was trying to make, and I feel like they all go into balance and they all reflect a little bit of nature into this little bag. So that's pretty cool because I feel like this one I can wear with basically anything as it has so many colors in it. After I was done with that, then I added a little bit of rhinestones on top of the butterflies to make them look a little bit more detailed and more expensive. And after that, this is how the bag turned out, and I really love how it came out. So let's move into the next one. For this next DIY, I'm gonna be using this basic tank top and also this pearl chain that I found at Michael's. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna turn these pearls into the actual strap of the top. For this, I'm gonna use the existing strap, and I'm going to measure how long I need to make the one with the pearls, and I'm just gonna keep it there until I have the actual length. If you want, you don't have to sew it in. You can also just glue it with a little bit of E6000 and then cover it with a little bit of Velcro. But because I want it to be very safe and secure, this is why I'm sewing it in, and this is really easy. You just have to do a couple of points, like go back and forth 2 or 3 times, and this should be enough. And I'm gonna take these feathers, I'm gonna list something similar in the description box, and I'm gonna pin them to the front. I'm starting from the armpit and I'm moving all the way on the front. You have to make sure if you have a stretchy fabric to stretch it so it fits the right way. This one is very easy to secure. You just have to make a couple of points, like one at the beginning and the end, and then just a couple of points in the center, so it's very secure. If you don't want to sew it in, you can also just use E6000, but you have to make sure that it's very dry before you put it on or before you move it, because you don't want the thing to fall apart. And once you have it all around the border of the top, you just have to trim the exits, and that would be it for this project. This one is very easy to do and also very inexpensive, and it's a great way of upgrading clothes that you already own and making them look a little bit more trendy. This next DIY is also very easy. For this one, you're just gonna need a mini dress. You're going to need some A6000 glue, some rhinestones, the one that has only one row, or if you want you can use a thicker one. And I'm also gonna use a plate in case that the A6000 starts leaking. If you have used it before, you know what I mean. And I'm also gonna use a pair of scissors. The first thing that you want to do is to choose where you're going to place the rhinestones. So basically you just want to eyeball it, and then you want to start adding the glue. When you're adding the glue, you have to make sure that you're adding a very thin line, because if it's too thick, then it can get on top of the rhinestones or it can get very messy. So I just like adding a little thin line and then start placing the rhinestones on top of it. As these ones are a little bit more thin, it can be a little bit tricky, so you just have to make sure that you're twisting them once you're putting them down, and then patting a little bit on top of them so they are attached to the glue perfectly. And then you basically just want to keep on going around the top of the bra. I like working in mirror sections because in this way I know that everything is going to be symmetrical. So I basically do the breast first and then both of the straps, and just like that. In this way I don't lose track, and I can make sure that all the rhinestones are aligned and that everything matches and that they end and begin at the same place. Once I was done with the front, I followed the same steps on the rest of the dress. I think that for this dress overall I used approximately like 2 yards of trim. Depending on the size of dress that you use, this could be more or it could be a little bit less. This step is completely optional, but I decided that I wanted to sew along the rhinestones on the top area. This is just a way of making it a little bit more secure and making sure that it will stay in place. I also wanted to make sure that it wouldn't break when I was putting it on because it doesn't have a zipper. This whole process took me like an hour, and I really love how it turned out. I feel like the dress looks completely different and way better than it was before. These were the ideas that I had to show you. You can also click on these videos if you want to watch more stuff like this. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Bye bye!